Welcome to my channel. In this video, I will be explaining about defects in forging process. So if we want to make a perfect product using forging process, then we have to know about the defects in forging processes. After then, we can be able to make a product perfectly using forging method. So let's discuss the defects in forging one by one. The first one is cracks. So in this figure, this is the product made using forging process. So these are the cracks. The cracks are visible clearly. So when cracks occurs, for improper temperature control, for excessive deformation or rapid cooling can lead to cracks in the forged part. So in hot forging, after the product has been made, if we are cooling the material improperly, then the cracks can occur. When we are doing the forging process, if we deform the metal excessively, then the cracks can be occur. After the forging has been done, then we are doing rapid cooling, then crack can occurs. So this is crack in forging. The next defect is unfilled section. The unfilled section is only applicable for closed die forging operation. If the metal doesn't completely fill the die, it can result in incomplete or misshapen forged parts. So this is a operation using closed die forging. So this is product of closed die forging operation. Here one white blank portion can be seen clearly. This is unfilled section. So when we are doing the forging process, we are creating pressure on the forging or applying force using the upper die of the closed die portion. So this part is known as unfilled section. So after unfilled section occurs, the product became defected. So if we want to remove the unfilled section, we have to apply force uniformly on the raw metal to get a desired shape or to get a perfectly shaped product. Next is flash. The flash is excess metal that's forced out of the die edges can create thin fins or flashes on the forged parts, leading to dimensional inaccuracies. This is also applicable for only closed die forging operation. So this is closed die forging operation. This is before operation and it is after operation. After operation, we can see the final product. This is the final product. So this is the joining of two dies. So after operation is done, some material gets out through the joining of the two dies portion. This is called flash. So this is a forging defects. So after the operation is done, we can cut or trim the portion to get out from the flash defects. Next is cold shut. This defect occurs when metal doesn't flow together properly, leaving a line or seam in the forged part. So cold shut is when we are doing closed die forging operation, the metal flow is not properly happening inside the closed die. So for this reason, one seam or line can be seen on the final product. This is called cold shut. To get rid of cold shut, we have to heat the raw metal in an elevated or perfectly elevated temperature and we have to apply appropriate force. Next is scaling. Scaling or oxide. Oxide scales on the metal surface can cause surface imperfections or pits if not properly removed before forging. So when we are doing hot forging operation on a raw metal, we are heating the metal above recrystallisation temperature and below melting point of that metal. For this reason, the oxide of atmosphere getting chemically reacted with the metallic particle of this metal and creating metallic oxide. For this reason, we can see an uneven or unsmooth surface on the metal surface. This is called scaling. So after the forging operation is done, we have to clean the surface properly to get rid of scaling defects. The next one is decarburization. High temperatures during forging may lead to the loss of carbon from the metal surface, affecting its hardness and strength. So when we are doing hot forging operation, the carbon of the metal surface getting engaged chemically with the atmosphere and decarburization happens. For this decarburization, the carbon from the metal is getting subtracted. For this reason, the strength of the metal getting decreases and it affects the hardness and strength of the metal. So we have to control this decarburization to maintain the hardness and strength of the metal. We can apply layer of chemicals on the surface before forging is done, or we have to machine the surface after the forging operation is done. Next defect is mismatch. Inconsistent forging temperatures or variations in the material can result in mismatches in the final product, affecting its overall quality. So what is mismatch? The mismatch is also applicable for closed die forging operation. So this is closed die forging operation, this is upper die and this is lower die. So if we are doing closed die forging operation and the alignment of two dies, upper die and lower die, is not perfect, then mismatch can happen. Here we can see the alignment is not perfect, so the product will be defected product. This is called mismatch. If we want to get rid of mismatch, then we have to align the two dies perfectly. The next is inclusions or solid inclusions. These are non-metallic particles or impurities that get trapped in the metal during forging, leading to weakened areas in the final product. So inclusions occurs when we are doing closed die forging operation and not cleaning the die before the operation, then inclusions can happen. In the closed die, foreign particle may be present before the operation is done and the foreign particle get trapped into the surface of the final product and create the solid inclusion forging defect. So if we want to get rid of solid inclusions forging defect, we have to clean the closed die or the die before forging operation is done. Next and the last defect is distortion. Uneven deformation or cooling can cause unwanted shape changes in the final product. So if we are doing forging operation or closed die forging operation or open die forging operation, any operation can be done. So in closed die or in open die, distortion forging defects can be seen. So we are doing forging operation to make a shape like this. After forging operation, if the distortion defect is shown, then the product can be like this or like this. So this is distortion. It has been distorted outside of it and it has been distorted inside of it. So this is called distortion. This is happening because of uneven deformation or uneven cooling of the product. So if we want to neglect the distortion or get rid of distortion forging defects, then we have to deform the product properly and we have to cool the product properly to get perfect shape of the product after forging operation is done. So these are the defects in forging operation. Hope this video was useful for you. Thank you for watching this video. For more updates, subscribe this channel and hit the bell icon.